Brenda, please go ahead and start.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Brenda Juliana Jimenez Barrera. I'm a seventh semester student of a bachelor's degree in foreign languages with an emphasis in English. And tonight I'm going to talk about the important role of the motivation in learning English. So, next slide, teacher, please. Okay, before I start, I want to ask you something like icebreaker. Have you ever felt like giving up when learning English? Like you don't understand, or you feel like you are not making progress, or you feel frustrated and you just want to stop learning the language? Who has experienced this or felt this way? So, guys, tell me about it.
Yes, me. I
Tell me.
feel frustrated at the second semester because they I choose a lot of courses, and I didn't want, or I didn't want to lose any of the courses, and I had three courses in English, and I was, oh my god, I don't know what to do. I will lose this course, but no, that doesn't happen. So yes, I feel a little frustrated at that turn.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia. Someone else can participate or I can continue.
Me,
Uh,
me.
Um, in my case, but sometimes I have felt like giving up because learning English can be challenging. However, I remind myself that progress takes time, and every day I learn something new that motivates me to continue improving.
Okay, that happens. And thank you for your participation, classmate. Well, that feeling is directly connected to motivation. It's for that reason that tonight I'm going to explain what motivation is, what is important, and the two main types of motivation, and also some strategies to stay motivated learning a language. Please, next slide, teacher. So first of all, what is motivation? Motivation is basically the reason why we do something. It is what keeps us learning and what helps us not give it up. And it is like that feeling that pushes you to continue learning, even when you don't feel like doing it. For example, when you decide to study English, there is always a reason behind that decision. Maybe you want to travel, get a better job in the future, or meet people from other countries, or even understand gossip for your friends, movies, or news in English. Or maybe you just like the language or your idols and you want to understand them in their native language. So motivation is like that internal force that pushes you to continue even when things are not easy or when you simply don't feel like doing it. Next slide, please. So now, what is motivation important? Learning English is not easy, as you know. Sometimes students feel frustrated, confused, bored, or they just want to continue. And it's exactly in that moment when motivation appears because motivation helps students continue. For example, when a student feels tired but still decide to practice because they have a goal or something that attracts them to English, that is motivation. Also, the motivation helps students feel more confident and stay focused. Sorry. Without motivation, many students stop learning or don't progress. Um, and that is why each student or each of one of us should always have a personal reason or motivation inside. Next slide, please. Now, according to research, motivation is a key factor in successful language learning. For example, Sultan Dorjee, who is a researcher in language learning, explained that motivate students participate more and persist longer in their learning process. In his analysis, he shows that motivation helps students stay engaged and continue learning even when it is difficult. And also students by Edward Deci and Richard Ryan explain that both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation are important for effective language. So this is not only my opinion, because the research supports that motivation plays a very important role in learning English. So next slide, please. Okay. Okay, now there are two main types of motivation. We have intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation comes from inside. For example, when you learn English because you enjoy it, you like it, or you are curious about it. On the other hand, we have extrinsic motivation that comes from outside. For example, you have getting good grades at school, earning money, traveling around the world, getting a better job in the future, or simply waiting to be the best on all the time. In my opinion, both types are important because they work together and help the student stay motivated. For example, some people start learning English because they want to travel or work, which is extrinsic motivation. Others start because they like the sound of the language or its expression in English, and which is intrinsic motivation. So let's next slide, please. Okay, now how can we stay motivated? I have some strategies, but you can choose or find the ones that motivate you. Okay. First, we have watching videos or series in English can make learning more fun and natural way. And second, speaking alone, like if you were a crazy person, or practicing daily is very, very important to get success. Even a small practice helps. Another strategy is getting small goals, for example, learning 5 new words every day and use it. And finally, I think that it's really, really important is rewarding yourself when you make progress. And to sum up, motivation grows when the learning becomes part of your daily life and your interests. And the last one is like to conclude, okay? Uh, Motivation plays a very important role in learning English. And if you have a reason, you will always find the motivation to continue learning. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention.
Okay, Brenda, thank you so much for your presentation. At the end of each presentation, I'm gonna give you some feedback, but before, let's start with the questions. Who would like to start? Who's gonna start? Remember, I mentioned at the beginning, each of you.
Cynthia, go ahead.
Okay, Cynthia.
Okay. Can students learn English without motivation?
Yes, thank you for your question, but it is very difficult because without motivation, a student may stop practicing and not improve much a lot of the learning language.
Thank you.
Maria, go ahead.
Okay, Brenda, do you think motivation can change over time?
Okay, well, I think yes. Thank you for your question. Motivation can change over the time, but sometimes students feel motivated and sometimes they don't. So it is important to keep clear small goals. Uh, that's it.
Diego?
Do you think motivation is important just in learning English or learning about whatever language, not just English?
No, the motivation is important in all the aspects. For example, we have the gym, the exercise. When you go into the gym, you have the motivation to look well and to feel healthy when you do an exercise. So you have the motivation all the time. In wherever we have the motivation in the language or in when you are doing exercise. I think that motivation in all the time you have.
Who's missing? Who's missing for the questions? Okay. So remember, one more time, each of you needs to ask one question to each of your classmates. Okay. I do have one question I would like to ask you, Brenda. Do you think that motivation and discipline goes together, or do you think you can learn a language without discipline, just motivation? What do you think?
Together. Maybe I would like to say yes, they are together
Mm-hmm.
because you have the motivation, for example, learn language, but you can have the discipline to, I don't know. I don't, true, I never think about it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say yes, together.
Okay. Great, thank you. I just wanted to ask because sometimes you can be motivated. I mean, sometimes you can really want to learn English, but sometimes maybe you don't have the time. So you don't look for the discipline to do it. I mean, you want to do it, but you don't. I think that there is where the discipline start working. But thank you so much. Um, thank you, Cynthia, Diego, and Maria. You asked questions this time. And now the feedback, of course. I wanna first of all congratulate you. You did a really good presentation. I really like for you that you did this icebreaker thing, this icebreaker question, which people usually don't do. Um, people, it's okay, but most people is usually focused just on providing all the info. And I really like that you include your classmates into your presentation. So, congratulate you for that. Um, I like for the slides overall that you did not put like a lot of information as well. So in that way, you actually showed you studied for the topic and that you had like a good understanding on the topic. I really like that. And about pronunciation, intonation, I don't have like any specific errors. Overall, you have a good language, a good English level. And I think that's all I have. Yeah, that's all I have here. And you did a good presentation, so thank you so much. I'm gonna stop this recording.